Thanks.
Yeah, sure. It's Eric's fault.
I'm Pro-Margoo.
Margoo.
Pro-Margoo.
Speaking of bored as hell, Pete Davidson is
He's going to marry Kim Kardashian.
going to be.
And he's going to die young because Kanye is going to lose his shit and just straight up murder him. So,
Oh my God, she looks like Shrek.
All right, well, I'll try that.
It would probably result in less of me and Jess just shitting on you in the chat when things go fucking off the rails.
I mean, it's not that it's not warranted. It's definitely deserved. It's just,
Well, especially when you're like, fucking thank you guys for saving me from this dinner. And then later just like, what the fuck, guys? I have a dinner to go to.
I forgot about that altogether.
It's like, why would we think that you were under pressure for that when we literally talked about how you didn't want to go to it?
Stop the work and fucking hold for everything.
Well, welcome to the Hope for Everything podcast. We're gonna shit on Mother's Day dinner that happened a week after Mother's Day for the next 20 minutes. So I get there and it's like the most expensive fucking steakhouse you'll ever find in your life, which makes no sense.
Oh, did you go to like Peter Luger?
No, we probably should have. We might as well have, because we went to the Bronx and it was like $53 for a steak that was this big.
Was it at least a fillet?
I think I got the
Because that makes sense for a fillet.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Then I think that's what I
The
got.
long pause, though, he has no clue what he's talking about.
I have no idea. I just got the cheapest thing because I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. I wasn't even that hungry anymore. I was pissed.
The fillet would not be the cheapest thing, so you probably did not get the fillet.
Well, no, there was I don't know. Well, I honestly don't know. I don't know what I got.
You probably got a fucking sirloin.
It was this big. It was like,
well, you can cut it into any size you want, buddy. Like, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's what they gave me. They gave me this. That's what I paid for.
Got a 8-ounce sirloin.
Yeah, that makes sense. That actually makes sense. But yeah, it was like a $400 fucking bill, and
Jesus,
we had to listen to fucking I don't know. They started going on a whole mask COVID tangent. And I was like,
you don't have to do any of that shit anymore.
I know. Well, that was the thing. My cousin said, yeah, I called prior to make sure you didn't need to be vaccinated or anything like that. And I'm like, nobody does that anymore. That's not a thing.
Yeah. There's not even the places that I've been to that were like super on top of this shit. They don't do that because strictly because, well, not even over it, but there was like there's groups of people that like, because it's not like mandated now, go around fucking storming into restaurants and like just refusing to order or leave until they're because the restaurant is just like, yeah, we're still checking vax cards and stuff like that. And it's just like, yeah, like what the fuck? It's like, you guys, it's fine. Go to another place. Like, why does everywhere have to bend to your fucking will over this shit?
And then it turned into, my mom said she went to the doctor, maybe the eye doctor or dentist, I don't know. And she went in with no mask, and they didn't ask her to put a mask on. They asked her if she had a mask, and she was like, no. And then he was like, all right, well, I'll go grab you one. And she just refused to put one on. And then it turned into masks don't actually do anything. And that was towards the end of the dinner. And I was like, all right, time to go.
The masks don't do anything thing falls apart when you just consider for a moment that like
doctors
you
have
would
been wearing masks for the last
forever, and you would be pretty upset if you were going under for surgery and your surgeon was just like barefaced, like just beard hanging out, like, all right, let's do this shit. I'm gonna fucking operate on you just with my whole fucking mouth exposed and nothing holding like anything in from me. Hope I don't fucking sweat inside of your fucking internal organs and like
I just don't
cause an infection.
I don't understand what the argument is. It's like, what is the conspiracy there? Like, why would we be asked to wear it? What is the benefit on like the evil
It's yeah.
government
There was
for us to wear a
Bill Burr.
mask.
There was a Bill Burr bit, I think, on like one of the last Conan episodes. Bill Burr was on, and he was talking like it was just a really quick thing where it's just like, yeah, I don't get the fucking conspiracy theory thing or the anti-vaxxers. It's like I get it if like it's because like a part of your religion is like, no, that's like you can't put shit. That's whatever. That's different. But these people who are just like, oh man, it's the government that's doing all this shit. They're gonna like wipe you. Like, it's like, why would they do that? They'd be getting rid of all the fucking sheeple and like leaving what, just contending with all you goddamn Fonzies out here doing just rebelling and doing all your shit. Like,
no, that was the perfect example.
Like it doesn't make any sense.
Why would
like, let's get rid of all the people who are listening to us? Like,
right. If the vaccine was there to kill us all, wouldn't they? Why would they want to keep the people that are not the sheep in quote unquote? Like, why would you want to?
And the people who are like, oh, there's trackers and shit, just don't understand batteries. Like, how the fuck would they recharge that? Though I think my favorite part of it all with the anti-mask shit, like right out the door, if you remember, like the anti-maskers before there was a vaccine for them to also be against, because for some reason that Venn diagram's a circle, and people were just like, oh, I can't fucking. This thing is A, ineffective, and then B, I can't breathe in it. It's like cutting off air to like my fucking body. It's like, well, then it has to be effective because molecules are smaller than viruses by like a landslide. So if it's cutting off your ability to get oxygen from the air outside of it, then the virus is definitely not getting through it. It's like, I get that you can't see either one of them, but when we're talking on like that micro scale, viruses are gigantic and molecules are literally some of the smallest shit we've ever seen. Like, it's also just like oxygen.
Like you don't need to be you don't need to be a scientist to come to the conclusion that if you're in a room full of people with masks on, you would just, even if it wasn't COVID, if one person had the flu and everyone was wearing a mask, you would assume that less people would end up with the flu after that day than if nobody was wearing a mask. If that makes any sense.
It's kind of being like complaining that like pants don't work because if I pissed myself, I'm still wet. But it's like, yeah, but if you just like randomly started pissing in a group of people without wearing pants, everyone would be wet, including you. So it's like, yeah, it's limiting factor when you put something in front of something. The most basic concept. Oh my God, I just thought about it. It's like, why would you ever think a fucking wall would work then? For the people who are also build the wall type people, it's just like, oh no, it does, like inherently there's way more holes in that shit. Why would you expect like that's going to keep anything out? It's so fucking frustrating.
Well, I guess the argument there could be the same argument with the mask. The argument with the wall is, okay, it's not going to stop 100%, but if it stops 70%, it's a little better than nothing.
But it wouldn't even stop 70%.
I see your point, but if I'm using that as a comparison, because I'm sure the wall would stop some percentage, I would imagine.
Exclusively, it would stop like some amount of like the more desperate migrants, but the drug trafficking shit that they're like, oh, we're gonna keep the criminals out. It's like they're going through border patrol. Like they're not sneaking. Like what they're doing is like concealing and doing all this shit. They don't really make these drug busts in like the open lands in Texas and Arizona and shit. They're finding them because they failed to conceal them properly at like border checkpoints, because inherently it's more risky to like get caught going illegally, and then because they're going to just be full reign to search whatever the fuck they want to, versus just being like a little bit clever or just traveling through an airplane. Like how big's the goddamn wall? Are we just stopping all air travel now? It's fucking, well, it's also going through people's property. Like, I don't know why people think that they should be like, oh, we're just going to put it up. Like, what land do you think people don't own out there?
I mean, I've never been over there, and I just assume what it looks like. I just thought it was all desert.
Well, no, it is all desert, but people live in the desert. People live in fucking Phoenix, dude. Like, they're going to live where they can build houses, and people have fucking houses on the border and shit. And so it's like there's a ton of people with property on the border, and it'd be like, oh yeah, the government now has to buy up all their property or boot them off. And there's no scenario where they thought of like people thought things through like on that scale, that I think the same people who would want the wall would also be like just totally cool with the government building whatever the fuck they want through their property.
Nice little payout. No.
Well, if they get that, because of like eminent domain, they don't inherently like have to do like what you think it's worth kind of ordeal.
They could just give you whatever you want.
Well, yeah, whatever they want. Like
there's
like
no haggling. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, if they do use that, because they probably wouldn't want to immediately. That would be like a last resort. They would probably try to give you offers before they went into like eminent domain laws and stuff like that. But it still is like a nightmare scenario of the government taking your land and then just being like, this is what you don't have a choice in this. At the end of the day, you really don't have a choice in it if they're going to do it. And I just don't think that the same people would be like, yeah, that's fine though.
You guys want to move to Phoenix?
No.
It's so hot out there.
I think it's too hot here today. I would die in Phoenix.
What is it? It's going to be 94 on Sunday, which is yesterday. If you're watching this on Monday,
it's going to be hotter tomorrow. I thought it was going to cool down.
Maybe it was 94 today. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it's supposed to hit the 90s today. I mean, yeah, it's roughly the same, and then it cools down. So today and tomorrow is like high 80s, maybe low 90s, and then Monday is going to be cold.
Dude, it's probably
cold. It's probably, in contrast, 75.
It's probably super packed where Jess is right now.
Yeah, it really is though. I was going to go grocery shopping, but I don't want to move my car.
Can we get some footage of the skaters?
Yeah, can we get some B-roll on this?
Why not? It's the surfers, no? It's hot out.
What we should do is you have a skate park like right next to you. I figured it would be closer. But
the
surfers also. We should start.
I'm on the surf beach too. So gotcha. Like it's just right behind the skate park.
But I feel like they surf regardless of the weather near you, because I've been there when it wasn't hot.
Well, that's what surfers do. They don't give a fuck. It's just like as long as there's going to be something to surf, like that's the most primary thing. If
winter has better waves too.
Yeah. They put that suit on and it's it.
And their booties.
And the booties.
Little booties. But yeah, we should start doing 45-minute episodes with like 15 minutes of B-roll interspersed throughout it.
Okay.
Why not? I think that'd be fun. Just gather random B-roll. Be the stupidest podcast because there'd just be blank sound for the audio version. Here's 3 minutes. Every 10 minutes, here's 3 minutes of nothing.
Just play some lo-fi hip hop over it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for Jake's hour-long. No. Yeah. It would be hour-long. Hour-long lo-fi.
An hour at this point?
We're almost at 30 episodes now.
We're after 30, but there was the past couple I haven't been able to like make a new thing for. But I think we have 28 or 29. So I think this is episode 33. So I think there's 2 or 3 that just haven't been don't have new material.
Yeah, so technically,
which is unfortunate because I was doing it well, but it was just like a perfect storm of all this shit going on.
Yeah. It's my fault.
It's
thanks.
Yeah, sure. It's Eric's fault. We'll roll with that. That's fine with me. And I realize it's not all lo-fi, so I think I got to be more dedicated up front to being like, all right, so this block is going to be just lo-fi, and this is going to be like more electronic, like shit. I don't know.
Oh, you want to
production talk?
Okay, yeah. Anyway, Pete Davidson is leaving SNL.
Wait, did you do the actual intro?
I did.
Yeah.
Oh.
He did. This is all part of the episode.
just thought we were hanging out.
Yeah, I did actually. I must have missed you saying it.
No. I snuck it in right before I started talking about my family being anti-mask.
And ordering expensive steaks.
and eating expensive steaks.
Which, there's nothing wrong with expensive steak.
No, just
not
not in the Bronx,
for Mother's Day a week later. A week late Mother's Day is this weird time because they probably had like if you just scheduled it correctly, like a Mother's Day like
Special
sale discount thing,
something.
if you just did it on Sunday. Yeah.
And then there's a whole conversation about the tip at the end of the day, bro. Like this lady makes $2 an hour. Why are we complaining about the fucking tip?
Also,
wanna...
why can if you're down to spend like hundreds of dollars on the food, what's the problem with like the extra little bit it's like that's not changing the real weight of the bill there. Like it's mostly coming down to the fact that you spent like $300 on food.
The issue was why is the tip already included on the bill? I'm like, I don't
because
fucking know.
People probably because people
probably
like
would have gave her a $10
tip.
tip and walked away.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done.
Yeah, Pete Davidson's walking away. I think I saw.
Speaking of
earlier,
tips, before we even get to the Pete Davidson, speaking of tips, I saw a TikTok where some guy mentioned that Johnny Depp tips like $1,000 to the servers that he's. I mean, I guess we're not assuming that he's also not spending a good like $5,000 on a meal or whatever the case is, but I thought that was pretty cool. Somebody in the comments said it could be bullshit. Could be somebody just fucking looking for likes, but somebody in the comments said he asked them what his rent was for that month and gave him that as a tip. I mean, obviously we don't know if that's true or not, but
it wouldn't.
There were a lot of stories in the comments like, yeah, I had a run in with Johnny. He was as a server, and he was like the nicest guy. He gave me a hug, and then another guy was like, oh, he paid me half my rent or my full rent, whatever.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say that wouldn't be too surprising because there is not necessarily because it's Johnny Depp, but I also know other like famous people who do that shit.
Right.
Like who will like people who have like a good amount of money and are just like, it's an easy thing for me to do. Like, just like, what's your rent? 1,200? Sure, here you go. Like,
it's also like, it's we're living in the world of,
of nightmares.
Of nightmares. Where word spreads, if you're a bad tipper and you're a celebrity, you're gonna get shit on, and everyone's gonna know in less than like a day.
I'm not
saying that's the reasoning.
But I also don't know like off the top someone who's like, oh, I know that guy's a bad tipper because he is. I don't know. I can't tell you who that person is.
Right.
Like, it might spread, and then I think it gets pretty forgotten unless you like have a passionate hatred towards that guy, and you just add it to your list of like, this is why I hate this guy. I don't know. I couldn't think of a good name in time.
I mean, I guess like on TikTok, there's a few pages of like people that will they'll tell stories about celebrities without actually naming them. There's this one lady, I forget what her name was, but she'll get sent stories that people have experienced with celebrities, but she won't say the name. She'll just leave a bunch of hints because she doesn't want to get in trouble herself.
Called a blind item.
Is that the name of the profile?
Well, no, it's just what they used to be, and now it's just videos instead of gossip magazines. Same thing.
There you go. I don't know what her name is, but you can probably find it anyway. But yeah, that was my Johnny Depp. I mean, I guess we could, since we're talking about Johnny Depp, before we get to Pete Davidson, Margot Robbie is going to be in the new Pirates of the Caribbean as the lead.
I can't believe they're making another one.
I'm very
surprised.
Just
like, you know what? Our former like lead actor is on trial right now, so let's just cash in on this inevitable fucking notoriety we're gonna get and make a new movie.
Well, it's just strange because they're getting shit on for not having him. Well, I guess he doesn't want to do it, but they're getting shit on. So I don't even know why they're bothering to do one without him.
Well, because someone had a script they liked and they were like, you know what? Sure, we can probably push the merch this way. Like, that's really all it comes down to with anything Disney is like, what's the down line? Because the movies aren't their biggest earner. It's all the fucking toys and shit that they sell
right
afterwards.
I mean, I think I saw something where there's 2 scripts running around for the movie with him possibly returning. Like, I don't know how much money you can shell out to get Johnny
All right,
back.
we need to turn your microphone down, Jess. We need to turn it down because it's swapping screens while you're not talking because of the motorcycle outside. So I'll just deal with the audio bullshit later.
You want to just go
It's
outside
gone.
and tell that guy to chill out?
It's gone. He's gone.
Well, it's just fucking funny to be like, God damn, how loud you gotta fucking be to like push the Zoom away from someone who's talking into the microphone. Like,
Dude, that guy gets so much ass. It's not even funny.
I doubt it.
There's never been a moment that like a fucker with like some loud ass bullshit drove by that the entire like block hasn't been like the fucking idiot. Like no one's ever just like, damn, that's cool. Like except for like his friends that do the same shit. Like everyone's just kind of like, I hate this guy. Like I want to eat outside and like not be assaulted. Like
I'm gonna get a bike and be that guy.
Cycle.
Mhm.
We're gonna stop hanging out eventually. Like I have nothing against either one of those individually, but like together, I'm like, this is a bad combo.
Just ultimate douchebag.
Well, I just think like inevitably you're going to get like a fucking big head about it and then get in a car wreck and I'll have to like deal with that. And I'd rather just not be friends and not go to a funeral for that reason.
You don't want to have
Just
to come
like
to the hospital.
Eric brought this on himself, so I'm gonna cut him off now, so I don't have to like schedule around his demise. Like
I tried to stop him.
Yeah.
You did.
I
You
gave
tried,
it my best shot.
I mean, you did try to stop me from cutting my hair. You were there for me, and I went against you. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think it looks better like this.
Okay.
Well, not the long hair, I think is better. This is like finally, this has grown in. It's been a minute since it's actually grown in, but like for the first like month, short hair Eric was looking like real weird. That's like kind of the thing is like, especially because you're going with like a medium length thing. Like you do still have to like grow into like the cut has to grow into what it's going to be.
Stressing me out. Like wearing these headphones with the medium length is really bothering me. I don't know what to do with it right now.
Why? It looks good.
Because you can't like see how long the back is. All you see is like this little bang, and then it's just a weird thing. Anyway, yeah, Margot Robbie, her as the lead, I feel like that could be cool. Like
Honestly,
if she puts her own spin on it, could it be like another iconic
Well,
character?
that's what it is. She would be the lead.
Could it be as
Let's
good
get you
as
just a little bit higher up, Jess? Can you split the difference between? We just need to get you a new microphone, like. But yeah,
I mean, could it be as good as Johnny?
Well,
I mean,
I only ever saw the first two, I think.
Yeah, good.
I saw
you.
the first one because like everyone saw the first one, and the second one I remember scenes from it, but I don't remember like it might just be like some of those scenes are famous enough that like everyone's seen them at one point or another.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's fine. Margot's a great actress. I think she's gonna fucking kill whatever role she's in. Like I don't think there's bad casting with certain like actors as long as you're not doing some like Scarlett Johansson as this Japanese woman shit. Like
no, I mean I don't think it'll be anything like that.
Yeah, well that's what I'm saying. Like I think especially in like in these kind of things where it's like, oh yeah, there's no like dumb shit happening with it. She's like, oh, here's a new character and Margot is going to do it. We're not having her like portray like against type or something like that with historical dramas or some shit. Like
I think they should because I haven't seen 4 or 5, but I heard they're absolutely terrible and nobody should ever watch them. So I would imagine that they're
5 of these things. Damn.
Yeah, dude. 3 was awful, and then 4 came out, and I was like, I can't do it because it was kind of like the Dark Knight Rises, the third one, where I watched it and I was just completely devastated that the first 2 were so good and it had led up to this moment where I didn't even look at reviews before I watched the movie, and it was just I was so excited and. It was just
I thought it was fine. Like it wasn't as good as like the Dark Knight.
Oh, you're talking about Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I thought it was like it wasn't brilliant, but I thought it was fine. Like a lot of things I think people were upset about, I was just like, well, they wanted to finish it. Like you have to do certain things to be like, and we're done.
Right.
Like
I guess.
So yeah. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's not the best by far. It's the worst of the three, but I think that's just it. It's not a bad movie standalone. It's just the other two were so good. Hype is what makes it feel worse, I think.
Do you think they shell out enough to get Johnny back somehow?
No.
Well, I don't think he wants to be back.
Yeah.
But
I do think that after he was in all five of them, I'm assuming, of the other ones. So I think after 5 fucking movies, just move on. Even if like nothing was happening, I think it'd be a better idea to be like, let's follow a new character. Because
it would have been a good idea before they did 5 of them.
Yeah, I feel like they probably should have cut off that for the trio, essentially. Because I think you get fatigued just being like, how many fucking fantastical voyages is this guy on? Like, do I want to see the same actor in a slightly different scenario? Like, the changes aren't big enough if you don't change like the people around it, because it's still going to be like pirates in that time period. So we need someone new to react to it differently. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, we all know what that character is going to do because he's established so fucking deeply that I don't have to see the movie. If you tell me like, oh, this is what happens in this one, this XYZ plot point, and how's it going to resolve? It's like, I bet I can tell you. I can picture the scenario in my head, and that makes it harder to enjoy the movie if I know what's happening the whole fucking time.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I guess I heard 300 million is what he was being offered, and they were like, nah. But I don't know how true that was. They mentioned it in court. I wasn't sure in what context they were talking about, but 300 million. Plus, he's going through a lot with this. Like, he's got to be losing a lot of money with the court case and all this other shit. I mean,
yeah, but he made 70 million in 1 year.
Yeah, but I think there was a couple of years where he was losing money because he was being wild. He was going buck wild, and that's why he kept doing the Pirates movies and shit.
Yeah, a Nicolas Cage kind of thing where it's just like, you got to keep buying these bones. Which I agree, he does have to keep buying those bones, but it is, it's like the pitfall of like money. It's all the time people who like get a shit ton really fast. Not that Johnny got it like fast in like a lifetime span, but like big ass paychecks. People overestimate how much that actually is, and then ball out for a whole year and realize like, oh shit, I have like none of this now.
Right.
Like, is the reason like I never understood like the giant house thing, because it's like, yeah, you can afford the house, but you realize like the taxes and maintenance on that are gonna fucking kill you. Like, you're like, what, you're going to clean this like 3-story 28-bedroom mansion that you bought? No, you're going to hire a cleaning crew, and you're going to pay the most exorbitant fucking property taxes that are out there, because you have a shit ton of land and it gets taxed and that's how it gets taxed most of the time, is amount like acreage, probably not by acre, but like, by the size of what you got.
But he's been making millions since the 90s.
What's he worth right now?
Yeah. Oh, we'll find out.
I feel like he like hit his stride in the 2000s. Like, I know he's been an actor since like the 80s, but A-list Johnny Depp, I don't think is
his net worth is
75 million. 70 million? No, 150 million.
That's his net worth?
150 is his net worth, yes. And his salary is 20 million per film.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And he's making
his movies have grossed $8.3 billion. That's not really
that's
a lot,
actually
though.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's because he's been in movies since the 80s. Like, one of his first, and he wasn't a big role, but one of his early roles was in Nightmare on Elm Street. He was just like a random kid that killed. So he's got like a 3 or 4 decade old career.
Anyways, yeah. So
technical problems, the podcast.
I'm Pro-Margoo.
Margoo.
Pro-Margoo. Yeah, that's the name of the episode right there. Pro-Margoo.
God damn it. I'm 'Margoo. Think she'll kill it.
I mean, the point is, my opinion is, I think it should just be a new character. I don't think throwing Johnny Depp into it adds anything to it beyond like the people who are like rabidly supporting him throughout this process to be like, yeah, good for Johnny. But I don't think it like makes the movie better. Just like having.
That's true.
I don't think cameos make movies better in a general sense. Just to be like, haha, look at that. Bill Murray's in the background of the new Ghostbusters.
No,
I kind of think they're dumb, to be honest.
But I think for the second Pirates of the Caribbean, it ended with a cliffhanger with the villain from the first one, who was then going to help them in the third one. And I thought that was really cool. And that got everyone hyped. It got me hyped. But so I was thinking the same thing could happen.
Different than a cameo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, since he doesn't have time to do this whole movie, I guess a cameo, I meant he would be the cliffhanger for this new. But I guess your point is why continue something that's.
Yeah, and also if you want Margot's character to be your main character, I don't think you want to promise a whole movie with the previous main character being involved. I think that's just setting yourself up or Margot's character up for failure.
Well, I know.
Or they both have to be in the next one, and I don't think they gross enough to have both of them in the same movie.
I think Margot and John. I mean, especially now, Johnny would definitely like. I think whatever Johnny's in after this is going to gross whatever. It's going to gross a shit ton of money.
Here's the thing is that I can think of is regardless of how this comes out, I'm probably not seeing it in theaters.
Right.
Yeah, there's not like, I don't think there's no part of me that is like Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah, let's go to a theater to see another one of those. Like,
yeah,
it feels like it's done for me. Yeah. It's like, oh, if I'm bored as hell one day and it's on Disney Plus, I guess it would be on HBO Max. But then, yeah, sure, I'll see it then. But I'm not going out of my way. I'm not spending a day trip to do that shit.
Speaking of bored as hell, Pete Davidson is apparently leaving SNL.
Yeah, and earlier today I saw that also Kate McKinnon
is leaving
is
too.
Expected. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, but I think that makes sense to me, especially because like people are split on like how they're interpreting like the Michael Shea comments, but I think he's correct when he was saying like with his idea of like toying with like leaving the show.
Wait, what did Michael
SNL? Michael Shea said in some stand-up special that he's been toying with like the idea of leaving SNL for the past couple of years. And obviously he hasn't, but like he's like eventually, something more interesting should replace me and Colin Yost in the middle at the end of the fucking night. And he highlighted the idea that this is where I really agree with him on it is SNL is typically best when it has like younger voices kind of ordeal.
Right. Because like, you have all these old heads on there and it's like, all right.
Yeah. And eventually I think, you get some new people on there. You get like some of the older people, and it's not like all of them are successful. All of them are there because they want to be, not because like their careers are so really attached to SNL at this point. Like Pete Davidson's done a shit ton of successful things. Shay's had a bunch of specials. He has his own TV show on HBO. Obviously, Kate McKinnon is killing it. Like all these people that are like slated, that are contemplating leaving, are leaving 2 careers. Like they're not leaving and then that's like, oh, I just have to live off this SNL money.
Is Pete Davidson leaving to a career though?
He definitely is.
Yeah, Pete Davidson is. He's got stand-up specials that are good. He's written that King of Staten Island movie. Fucking did well.
It was a great movie too. He's got the A24 movie that looks great.
Yeah, he's also got plenty of money in a general sense at this point
because like, he's been living with mom, so he's got money saved and.
He's going to marry Kim Kardashian.
He's going
to die young because Kanye is going to lose his shit and just straight up murder him. So,
bro, you got tattoos of my kids on your neck, bro. I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
That was very
Eric,
strange.
You really got to just like stop slapping the fucking table and like cracking water bottles while you're talking. Like,
so sorry. I won't do it again.
It's like, yeah.
I don't know if the kids' tattoos were real. I think that was, I don't know what that was.
Well, still, anyway. I do think it's good for SNL because then you get like newer voices involved. Like you get new head writers, you get new the younger people getting more prominent roles, and that's great because you have a couple people that have been nailing it. Like
I think you and I think I don't know if you were there with me, Jake, but like a lot of the stand-ups that we see are writers from SNL. Like all these Brooklyn stand-ups, a lot of them are writing for SNL, and I guess some of them are in hopes of like becoming part of the cast, but it always seems like the stand-ups that we like don't ever become a part of the cast because their thing is more stand-up.
Isn't
right.
Yeah,
exactly. Which is unfortunate because then it ends up not being as fun.
No, a lot of people do like really good work as just writers. I think it fits. Like John Mulaney was just a writer. Larry David was a writer.
Mm-hmm.
Conan O'Brien was a writer. Not like none of these people were like performers. They probably got on camera to do like a support bit every now and then, but like they're all, I do think generally speaking, they do a good job of sorting like, oh, on camera, this person like doesn't fit like this sketch comedy kind of thing with how they perform. I think you got to consider those things. And it's not like people don't write for SNL and leave, like are just straight up staff writers for SNL who don't leave for great things too. Really, that's, I think what Michael Shea was saying was just like, SNL is brilliant for younger people to like start their careers basically, to like get them all like on the show in writing or in performing and whatnot. And because sticking around forever is not like what you're supposed to do because it kind of stagnates.
It's also like if you're on SNL for the first 5 years of your career, you're not just on SNL. You're still doing like one or two movies here and there, and kind of getting a gauge of what it'll be like when you leave. I think, but you could also be like a Leslie Jones kind of situation where you kind of leave way too early thinking that you're a lot bigger than the show, which was a weird move. I don't really know why she did that because she was great on the show. She could have, well, I mean,
there's a lot of,
I'm sure there's a reason.
There's no guarantee that anyone succeeds at anything really. So it's like, she did great on SNL, but it doesn't mean that she inherently like translates to another field. Like doing good on SNL doesn't mean you're inherently good at anything else. Like, not to say that she isn't, but just to be like, there's a lot of also examples of people who don't crack and like do good things in SNL. Post SNL.
I think she got a taste of like Ghostbusters and was like, all right, well, this is going to be it. And then that kind of, not that it flopped or not that the movie was bad, but the movie flopped money wise. And then there was nobody was looking to work with her right away after that. Not her specifically, but just, she's not a name that people know.
Has she been in anything since Ghostbusters?
I don't think so.
Probably just not like something that we're immediately familiar with.
Yeah, maybe like a TV show spot or something.
It's also a fucking grind, SNL. So it's easy to be like, if it's hard to keep up with it, like every SNL memoir, former performer or writer talks about how it's like, it's kind of miserable. Like you're like, people are like, oh, that sketch wasn't good. And it's like, we're fucking working all goddamn
5
week
days a week.
To do all this shit, get it
5
all
days
done.
a week.
And we have to write around the whims of a new host every goddamn week. Like,
5 days a week. And then, what is it on the weekend? It's like a 24-hour turnaround on those shorts.
Essentially. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Essentially.
They do those overnights. They're all overnights at like a house up in fucking Jersey or some shit. And then they have to shit it out by the end of the night, which is crazy because I mean, they end up coming out great, like the shorts and coloring and editing. And I guess if they're not funny, it's like, damn, we just did all that and it was trash. But I can see how that's killer. But also I've heard stories where it's kind of like how WWE works, where the wrestlers will pretty much run after the writers so that they can get some TV time. And the same goes for SNL, where a lot of the cast members are kind of pitching ideas to the writers.
No, everyone's writing a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any like pure just performance person on the show. I think it's just there's writers who that's their main gig. They're like and then there's the performers who are like split between. Because I don't think like Michael Shea obviously writes, Colin Yost writes, like they all do some level of writing. It's just whether or not that's the only thing they're doing.
But I do think there's a lot of like clicks could be a problem behind the scenes if you're closer with this writer, they're more likely to listen to your ideas. I'm not saying it's cutthroat, but I can see how it can be tough.
At the end of the day, Lauren chooses everything. Like they do a pre-run on Friday or maybe earlier that on Saturday of like pretty much all the sketches.
Yeah.
Not that all like get pitched, but all that like make first cut.
Mm-hmm.
And then they cut harder from that point. Like Lauren watches all of them and just gauges which he thinks did the best. Like
don't they do a show right before SNL too? They do like they have an audience there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing I'm talking about is they do a pre-tape, well, not even a tape. They just do like a pre-run that's longer and has more of the sketches. And then they cut it down for like the real show from that point even.
I wouldn't be
so, like, I don't think you can pitch whatever the hell you want. And at the end of the day, you have to sell like the whole room. It's not like writers choose. There are people who have like more influence than others. Like obviously head writers are going to have a large influence, but I think based on how everyone seems to talk about it, Lorne Michaels at the end of the day is like the guy who decides really like during that pre-run kind of pre-roll kind of shit where it's like, yeah, that didn't really sell, or I don't really understand that one. I don't think it's going to do well. And then, yeah, clicks probably happen, but I don't think they're as like devastating as I wonder as like you'd think.
I wonder what happens when he bounces. Like, who does it go to? Who's in charge? Does it change? Does the show change?
There's probably some like older, I would bet like an older head writer or something like that might take that spot who has production, like experience as a producer. Like someone wants it and because he's older. So some people, he's probably talked about it and there's probably like a concept or a plan behind it. But I don't know. I think going back to the original point, all these people leaving, as much as people are going to be like, oh, look at all they're losing all this talent. I think it's kind of perfect timing in that like you have these younger cast members that are starting to like become bigger, like Bo and Yang and Sarah Sherman and stuff like that. They'll get them more screen time, more ability to like put their voice on shit. And I think, people haven't been like high on SNL for the past couple of years. I do think, and I feel like that's always the case where it's just like,
I think every conversation anyone ever has
in the moment.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say in the moment, you're always kind of like, it's not as good as it used to be. But then like years pass and you're just like, oh, actually that wasn't that bad. Like,
but
it is just because they have to fill so much time. So half the show is almost guaranteed to be like, whatever, like, because they're just fucking filling time at a certain point. But I do think it's like good time to get the younger, more different voices and give them more room to do their thing. Like reiterating Bo and Yang, Sarah Sherman.
There'll come a time when like Pete Davidson hosts the show and everyone's hyped to watch it because he's hosting.
That'd be kind of cool.
Sorry, I think we talked about that a lot, but yeah, I think I don't know about Kate McKinnon. Anyway, that's a whole other conversation. But
Kyle Mooney's leaving too, but
there was a bigger list, but I think
Oh, is it? Damn. Oh, it just got trampled by Pete Davidson being the guy.
No, I think it just came out after Pete Davidson.
I was never a fan of Kyle Mooney. I don't even know why no offense to him. I just never found him funny on the show. But I think he was one of the writers prior to being on camera, I think.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not entirely familiar with it. I'm not too familiar with him either, so it's hard for me to.
Yeah, but he was one of them who made a jump. I will. We can jump to because how much time do we have? We
Like
kinda
5 minutes.
all right. We could talk about this just quickly because it's all anyone's talking about in the last couple of days. The She-Hulk CGI. I don't know if you can pull that up, Jess.
Yeah, I have it. What's up?
Just everyone is just shitting on it and complaining about
The
it.
trailer?
I mean, we don't have to watch the trailer. We can if you want, but the CGI of it or stills of the CGI, I guess you can pull up so we don't have to sit here and watch the trailer.
Yeah, I just haven't seen anything with this. So I'll just Google it on my end.
Oh
too.
my God, she looks like Shrek. At least in the stills. Let me see if I could share it.
But yeah.
Is that CGI or is it just like the worst green body paint?
I don't know. Like everyone it doesn't look great. For sure. Right off the bat.
Well, it is very hard to be like, you know what we're gonna have for this this movie or this television show, a whole green person.
It kind of
reminds. The one
reminds
I think looks like Shrek. This one right here.
It looks like Lou Ferrigno.
That looks brighter than the stills though. Like that looks like someone cropped that because you look at these other stills, she's not as bright green as like that.
I think what it is it's
still not a great green. It's just
it's not paint, and I think that's the problem. Because I guess they probably didn't have time to fucking paint her green every episode, so they CGI'd the shit out of her.
This one looks like it's a still.
What do you mean? Yeah, that's a still from the trailer.
Oh, right there. There's a thing. She-Hulk will be completely CGI.
That's wild. Yeah, so that's her. That's her on the right, I guess. Down to the right.
This one?
Yeah. No, this is her without the makeup.
Actress without makeup. Yeah.
That's. I mean, I guess it was time consuming to just make her green. Like I don't know.
It is time consuming. I remember X-Men. Jennifer Lawrence was saying that it took forever to turn blue.
Your full body.
Yeah. That's, I mean, but she's wearing, whatever. I don't know. I was going to say she's wearing clothes. You could just do the arms and the face, but it's obviously not that easy to do. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, not great, but not great. It might change by the time it drops,
Right.
So much of CGI can be changed later.
They might fix it because of the backlash.
Or it might just be different inherently when it comes out. Like sometimes like they're just like, oh, that's good enough to release a trailer for it. And then they're like really the ending. Like that's happened enough times where it's like, yeah, it'll probably look a bit more neat when we're watching it.
I mean,
I don't think it's going to be good looking. I think it is something that if you're watching it, it's going to have like some pretty good story and pretty good delivery. Because if it's lacking in one of those two things, you're going to be taken out of it by the fucking green person.
I definitely agree. Like that's kind of bad.
Yeah, but you can if it's well written, well acted, like then you can get over that. It could just be like, oh yeah, that's the thing that's happening, but you can still get like, you just got to be able to get them invested. That's really it. If you can't get people invested, then you won't be able to get them over that hurdle. And that hurdle is going to fucking kill you at the end if you can't do that.
The issue is we're like weeks out from the show. It's like coming out.
Well, I didn't know it was dropping that soon.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I don't know if it comes out before Thor.
I'll find out now.
Because Thor comes out in July.
I don't know. There's your cat.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, so Thor comes out before She-Hulk. So it's Thor and then She-Hulk comes out
She-Hulk
after.
is August 17th.
Right, so maybe Jake's right. Maybe we have a few months before for them to fix it, if anything. I don't know.
That was fun.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that was. Jake, what time do you have to be there?
What are you? Half hour.
Oh damn! What are you building?
Right.
What are you building for? Oh,
I don't know. I never know. I honestly, it's like a bar set for some country jukebox musical thing. It's getting shipped to Nashville. So
Okay.
yeah, but I don't know what the musical's for. And
it's a musical.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's a touring thing that probably was on Broadway at one point. But there's a million things that have been on Broadway for like a month and then left.
So I can't just look up
the details.
Nashville musical.
It's in Nashville. So I think if you did that, you would just find a listing of a shit ton of musicals, but I wouldn't even be able to like confirm it. I don't know the name of it. Like I've never learned it. I just know like vaguely what the thing is, like the literal objects are. I don't know what the plot of this thing is. I don't know anything besides like, oh, we're building these things to ship to Nashville for this thing. I very rarely know what I'm working on unless it's Disney, because then there's Disney reps telling me.
Telling you what to do.
Did you work on She-Hulk?
No, I did not. It's typically the shit that I'm involved in with Disney is typically Disney Theater Group. So like their Broadway shit.
Me and Jess just worked on, what did we work on?
Oh shit. We worked on a recruitment video for lawyers. It was not fun.
Had fun.
Hell
Jake.
yeah.
Should have been there, dude.
Is that what you were texting me about at like 3 a.m. the other night?
Yeah. What?
All right, that's how we'll end this one.
What was that? What was I texting you about?
Like 6 opportunities to mute your microphone for that, and you were just like, I'm not going to do any of it. Like,
dude, it overcomes my body.
No, randomly the other night you like texted me just like, the fuck you doing, bro?
Oh yeah, I was gonna.
And I said like playing games, and you were like, why? And you're like, no reason. And then didn't respond after that, and I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Dude, I've been going through a lot this week, dude. I'm going through a mental state. I don't know what I was texting you for. You could have saved a life though.
Well, you're still here, unless you're talking about how you murdered someone. Like. Could have saved a life implies someone did die. So like who were you admitting to killing right now? Let's not get into that.
No, I don't know why I was I think I was trying to go to like a comedy show in Bushwick, and you're right there. So I was like, yo, just come. I probably went by myself because fuck you.
You didn't even tell me that though. All I said was like, I'm playing Elden Ring or something like that. And you're like, oh, I'm not going to invite you places. Like,
not if you play Elden Ring.
I was having a moment. I need you to be doing absolutely nothing when I text you, bro. You need to say, I'm doing nothing. I would love to hang out. Otherwise,
I'm never going to respond with that because I fill my time.
I don't know how to fill time.
I don't know what to tell you.
Damn, I got to learn how to do that, bro.
You got to learn how to like plan when you're doing things, but that's another conversation.
I can't plan because then the day comes and I'm like, damn, I don't even want to do this shit anymore.
All right. Well, the last episode of Hold for Everything podcast.
Oh, no. I didn't. Oh, I wasn't referring to the podcast. I was just referring. Oh, that's not what I made it sound. My bad. It's not what I just meant.
See you never, guys.
Should we just end it there now?
Yeah,
I think so.
See you never, guys. Okay, bye. I don't know. Is Jess gonna end this thing or?
Oh, I thought we were joking, but I can.
I mean, we were.
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay. Bye.
What's up, bitch?